joining us. So I want to ask you first, how did you first have this show land in your lap, Naruto?
Well, it was a while ago, but I first auditioned for it like I auditioned for everything else. And then I got a callback, what's called a callback, which means you go to the producers. And there were a whole mess of people there, people from Viz and probably some people from Japan and the studio where we record, casting. And then they worked with me for about 45 minutes, I would say. I was in there. Lots of different scenes and some different ages and happy, sad, every emotion. And then I said, I hope I got it. And they're like, oh, you got it. So then I took myself to New Orleans for a birthday present.
Were you familiar with the show going into it, or?
No, I went home and looked it up, and I was astounded that it. Back then, I mean, I got like over 100,000 hits or something, and but it's only grown since then. So, I mean, now it's like crazy, yeah.
And how's the process been like trying to help develop the character, like with the voice, the personality, you know, living in the States?
Well, I didn't use the Japanese voice actress as a reference because I didn't want to try to duplicate her performance. I think she's amazing, of course. But I mean, some of it, when you see a rendering of a character, it just kind of hits you. And that's sort of what happened with Naruto. And then, of course, our amazing director, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, she directed a lot of them in the beginning for many, many years. And she was just great at helping get the best performance out of all the actors. So that helped. And then it's like riding a bike a little bit. You kind of know him so well that you know how he would react.
You've been voicing this character since '05, and now you're reaching like at the height of like the show with Shippuden and now with Boruto.
Yeah.
Have you felt like you've grown with the character since?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like having a left arm. It's like I don't know what I'd do without the character. Have I grown like emotionally with him? I guess I appreciate the fact that he never gives up, and never stops trying, and says it a lot. And I never give up. That's my ninja way. And as a performer, you have to never give up because you never know when your next job is going to be. So I guess I adapted that from him.
And how has the fan interaction been like for you ever since taking on this
It's
role?
bananas. It's crazy. I've been around to a lot of the world for conventions, and it's astounding to me how similar the fans are in every city and country. It's just astounding. I was in Puerto Rico earlier this year, and who knew? Like, Naruto is huge in Puerto Rico. There's a huge fan base there. Sweden, New Zealand, Sydney is out of control. Sydney was out of control, and that was several years ago. I think it's gotten even bigger since. England, Scotland. I hear it's huge in South Africa.
Yeah, I heard that too. Have you been there, or?
No, I haven't. So, shout out to South Africa if they want me to come. Get in touch with me. And India and Pakistan too.
Oh yeah, certainly. So, like, what has been the craziest fan interaction you've had? Doing these conventions.
Yeah, big huge guy in New Zealand came at me, and he was huge. He had huge hair, big, huge man, and he locked eyes with me, and he kind of started toward me, like coming at me. So I was like, I don't know what's going on here, and he presented me with this thatched thing that out of palm, and inside was a necklace he had hand carved with the New Zealand symbol kind of thing, and a poem that he'd written, and he said, "Welcome to my country." And that was amazing. It was amazing. And then once in Ireland, there was this group of young kids, like 20, 21. There were like 5 of them, 2 identical twins, their girlfriends and a friend. And their mother was there signing for them all because they were all deaf or partially hearing. And so I spent some time talking to them. She was translating. And some had partial hearing, so that was, And then when she left, she doubled back and she said, my boys have this disease where they're slowly losing their sight and their hearing. It's some disease that causes both. And she said, and Naruto was saving them, and they had bought them a guest house, and they were both visual artists. And so they let them in this guest house on their property. They were painting pictures of scenes from the cartoon to help them remember color. And I was a mess. I was just under the, she turned around and left and said thank you, and I just burst into tears and had to take like a 5-minute break. So I get a lot of people like that. I was on a military base in Okinawa, and there are people that, are grown men a lot. And I'll see it here this weekend. I always get it, like guys that have watched it since they were kids, and they'll cry and tell me to help get them through a hard time. And I've had a lot of those kind of interactions, a lot of those. Yeah. And then some really cool ones, like it'll be like, bro, I told you it was a woman, I get that constantly. Yeah. It's great.
And I like how it's basically like with the show, as you said before, they watched it since they were kids.
Yeah.
And then now they're passing that on to
their
kids.
Yeah, it's multi-generational. I mean, I've met grandfathers and stuff, but yeah, now like little kids, and it was wildly popular on streaming. So it's like this resurgence of people. Like it was big before, but it's really big now. I have a friend that works for one of them, and she's like, "Do you know the question I get asked most? When's the next Naruto episode going to air on?" I forget which service it was, but yeah.
And I feel like it also mirrors how the show has been, because we have the first series, and then the second series picks up a couple of years, and then now we have Boruto.
Yeah.
Passing it down to the next generation.
Yeah.
Do you see that kind of, similarities, like, with the fans and also with the show?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is what I get most of the time. Guys will come up to me and say, "You were my childhood," which is kind of weird to have that said to you, because you don't really have an answer, but I'm like, thank you, But yeah, the mixed generations and the growing. I mean, it's not often that when you portray a character, that it grows this much. Like, like Bart Simpson is always the same age.
Right.
So it's great for me, because it gives you all sorts of, a big range of what to do and how to play it. And, I don't know that I ever thought I'd be playing a grown man with a son, but there it is.
Speaking of that, what was that like now, getting to voice, Naruto as an adult, and now having a kid?
Yeah.
Have you worked with Amanda closely with the characters?
We record separately, so we never really talked about it. I didn't know who she was for a long time, and then I met her in the lobby of the studio. So but she had watched Naruto, so I think she would be more influenced than I would be influenced by her. But I love what she's doing with the character. Yeah.
Has she reached out to you prior to her playing the character, or was it just more like...
No, she didn't. I mean, actually, weirdly, I was at Otakon, which is a huge convention, and I had a panel, and this was several years ago, many years ago, and she asked a question, and her question was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And then when I met her in LA, she's like, I asked you at a panel like 6 years ago or whatever, 8 years ago. So that's kind of weird. It's kind of cool.
What was the most memorable thing you could remember playing Naruto, whether it's from the prior two series or even now?
Well, certainly most of the fights, the big ones. The end of the show, of course. The Jiraiya arc, the Pain arc, the first fight with Sasuke, and the movies. I like the movie The Last is my favorite movie. Yeah, those are some of the things. There are a lot of things. There's
those like your favorite arcs that you got to do? Or
yeah. Those are some, yeah. And then once in a while, at a convention, someone will bring something up, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like that too." So it's there's so much. There's so many episodes. So many. Some of them I haven't seen in years and years.
is there anything you want to say to your fans?
Believe it! Thanks for watching, and happy 20th, Naruto. So, this is Naruto Uzumaki. Happy 20th!
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.